Okay, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how to defeat imposter syndrome and sell with service here on Connected Sales. A wonderful workshop for today. It's going to be really exciting. So let's get connected here and begin. Welcome, everyone. If you are here on our live, we're going to check everything, check all of our stream links, make sure we're up and going for YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So let's check all of our links before we get started. And welcome for a super cool, super sort of thorough work on the inner game of sales. You know, every time a lot of people say memorize the scripts, read the books, and things like that. You know, the difference from Nunzio in the factory sales and all the lines and the closes and stuff. You're sort of unauthentic, right? You're not yourself. And you can't be, right? You skip a line and somebody hits you with another objection or interrupts you because they're in a hurry. As soon as you start into 3 minutes in your sales process, and then you're off, right? You're off book and you're fluttered and everything. So this is all about how do we feel? How do we feel about our products and services? Years and years ago, Brian Tracy in his sales books and CDs and everything says, if you don't own the real estate or the refrigerator, it's going to be tough for you to sell that. If you never bought the home, that's $250,000, $500,000, $1 million. It's going to be tough to sell that emotionally. If you never bought a $3,000, $5,000 refrigerator, you're not going to have the essence of that particular thing. So this one is really focused on all of us business owners, company organization owners, but also coaches, consultants, and experts. So let me swing over and let me just make sure that we are all set and we are live for all of our channels. Okay, so feel free to give me a thumbs up, a little clap, the emoji clap, or a little wave on the clap. We're going to be checking all of our links just really quick here for Connected Sales on our links and everything, just to make sure we are okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, so yes, YouTube is all set up, ready to go. Let's check the audio. Oh, wonderful. Connected. We are connected. I like that. And then I have here for our chats and our messages or any questions and comments on YouTube. Let me swing over to Facebook, see what we're doing here on Facebook, just to make sure that all our Facebook viewers is perfect. We are live here on Facebook. Let's check this. Wonderful. We are connected. Even perfect. It adds a lot of emojis and a lot of different emojis. I like this as far as some of the stuff and wonderful. So excellent. Well, I'm going to leave a link down to a lot of cool things and resources for today, especially even this mini workshop. It's going to be all on internal. How do we talk to ourselves? How do we see ourselves? When we look in the mirror, how do we see ourselves? You know, I'll always say in Connected Sales, there's a great a sentence or phrase from an old parable, and it goes something like this. When we're looking at somebody, when we're talking, communicating, or selling somebody on our products or services, the phrase goes something like this. They're probably thinking exactly what I'm thinking about myself as they're thinking about me. So basically what it means is when we're walking by somebody, if I say to myself internally, I'm confident, I like myself, well, I'm radiant, I really enjoy, or you're just taking that in and being present, right? I really enjoy this air. I really enjoy this, shirt or the shoes, right? And we're present. That's going to show up inside the, inside the mind of that person looking at you. Okay, so it's very cool to work today on the inner game of connected sales. The other day, we were taking apart the four personalities, right? The different colors, the different vibrations. How do we tie into them and things? For today, we're actually going inside the mind and the heart, connecting for connected sales. One last thing I do have to check. I have to check Instagram and just to see. And we are sales. Oh, this is cool. Cool. So we are live on all of them. So let's get going, everyone, here for today. If you guys are ready, I'm ready here on a great session. My name is Edison, founder of Connected Sales. Today, we are going to be covering all the inner journey through feeling better about ourselves, feeling better about our services. What else? Building our confidence. So we sort of get away from the imposter syndrome. So the imposter syndrome is pretty much the words for saying, if I'm selling somebody to something internally, I feel bad. I don't feel worth that. Or I'm selling something that I really don't believe in, right? We're just sort of like an imposter, where we wear a mask of selling something, but we really don't truly heartfully believe in. Now, a lot of my clients sell their own coaching programs. So inside of the VIP mastermind for connected sales and also the regular accelerator program, we do dial into a lot of the things for internal development for sales. How do we feel? How do we look? How do we take care of ourselves? A lot of mirror work, looking at ourselves. I feel great. I feel great. I like myself. I like my eyes. I like my ears. Wow, I never really knew that. I like my hair. Right? Oh, I'm shining in radiance. Oh, I smile. I like my smile. Like my teeth. So we're doing a lot of that as well for connected sales. Let's share with you, everyone, what we're going to be doing. For today. It's the connected sales, is defeat imposter syndrome and sell with service. Now, I'll always say this too in a lot of great ways in the sales process. No matter if you're selling golf clubs, cars, real estate, HVAC, hair salon, fitness, gym memberships, TVs, cameras, a service like a done for you service, which should be like a SaaS, something like a Go High Level or a Kartra or a ClickFunnels, right? We're selling, that type of like a white label, service on things. So we're going to be transforming hesitation into action and building unshakable confidence through service focused selling that create real value for your prospects. I want to drive home the message when we're selling. It's to improve the person we are selling to, right? The person across the counter, or that's sitting across from us or next to us, as far as sales. When we sell something, we're being of service, and right, to really expand and grow for some of these companies and CEOs. Some of my clients are multimillionaires. So the more they can be of service to everyone, help improve everyone, right? Get in touch and communicate deeper with some of the emotions and some of the blocks people are going through, right? The more they're going to give back, right? The more you sell in the world, right? The more service you are. Let's just say you have 5 clients for your coaching program. You had 5 clients this month. So if you could reach 20, right, you're just being more of service, right? You're giving more and you're expanding more. So those people are going to share their wisdom with their friends, their husbands, their wives, their coworkers, and life in general. So it's really amazing as far as when we're selling, we're really coming into, I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm really just dialing in and giving service. The service expands. If I can give a service to you, right, and help and assist, well, then that service just keeps expanding. And your 20 now clients become 50, become 100. Okay. So let me check all the channels really quick before we begin. And we'll get started for all the section. I just wanted to make sure. Perfect. Okay, here. Will we have a replay on this? Yeah, this one will be in our channel, everyone, for connected sales. It'll also be in the Edge of Purpose on the profile, but I will make sure as far as the links, but also when we replay the video, you'll have the downloadable worksheet. The worksheet's at the end, and it's really cool. We're going to go through the worksheet together, fill it out in examples, fill it in, and really have fun with that. I don't see any other messages or comments, so let's move on and go right into this. We're going to be talking about the truth about imposter syndrome. That's the first thing we're going to be covering for the truth about imposter syndrome. Okay. So the truth about imposter syndrome is sales isn't about pretending to be somebody else. It's about taking simple actions that build real confidence. Okay. Focus on serving one clear problem. They always say if we're confused or if we're all over the place, our prospect or our lead's going to be confused and all over the place. So we try to just make sure we're focusing on one clear problem. So when we outline that in our sales process, when we ask those open-ended questions, we're getting some of the feedback that we could hone in on one clear solution. And those imposter syndromes don't mean you're unqualified. They mean growth is happening, right? We're all nervous. We're all anxious and have anxiety on certain things. Whether it's a group sales, maybe you're pitching a bunch of CEOs or CFOs for maybe a startup and things like that, right? So growth is expanding and always, what would it be called? Like another word for expanding. Confidence isn't a mood that arrives first. It's the willingness to act and then let the feeling catch up. As a cliff diver the last 20, 25 years, we're always built on action, right? Taking action. 30 or 45 seconds, we got to jump off the platform and do our dive. So the other, 10 people in line, or if we're in a tournament, right, the time is very like quick and fast paced. So it's really not about the mood that we're in. It's about action. Right. As far as sales, the same thing holds true. Right. If we have a bunch of people on our book and we're making those outbound calls, I always make the outbound calls, even if you're nervous or if you're questioning certain things. Maybe you're not in the best of moods. Maybe you're rushed, whatever that day is, right? We don't want to make excuses. We're just moving on that action first. Your authentic voice is your most powerful selling tool. So your authenticity, right? Who you are, who you become, all the hurdles you've overcome over the last few years, right? So be your authenticity, your product and service. If you're coaches and consultants and experts, right? It's your service and program that you built to help others through their own challenges. And every no is a lesson. Every yes is a testament to your value. So keep in mind that every no is a lesson, and it's a lesson too for me over sales. It's always been a lesson of follow-up, right? Even if somebody says no, I'm going to be calling them in a few days, then a week, and then I'm going to make sure they're on my dialer for the week after that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's a little bit about like the truth about imposter syndrome. Any questions about imposter syndrome, the definition of it, how it gets in the way, if what you guys are have been feeling, or anything for the internal game of sales, let me know right here, just so I know. And I'm checking just to make sure there's any comments here for our live channels and everything. If I don't feel totally confident about my product, what should I do? Is this imposter syndrome? Yeah, well, it could be imposter syndrome if you don't feel totally like confident of your product and service. Depends on the details, of that. It's tough. If you wanted to write in some more details on that, you can, so I could better understand that. So like if you like aren't 100% on a like a product or service, does this relate to imposter syndrome? It could relate to imposter syndrome. It could also lead to just not being what would be like informed, like well informed of this. I just heard of somebody that was doing the selling. He was selling the reality where you go in and you have all the like the guns and the weaponry, and you go in and it's a big huge, like, I don't know, 50 acre like big playing field, and you do all the mazes with the guns and shoot the little dummies and all that, and he was selling that. So if we're really not confident of what it is, maybe the prices, maybe the group prices and stuff like it might be just a understanding of the product or service, and dialing into that, knowing more about it, and then scripting it. If you have a husband or wife or a team that you're role playing with your scripts, just to go over and just keep asking questions and objections and rebuttals. What if this? What if I bring 3 people? What if this? Are your prices different on weekdays compared to weekends and things? So hopefully that answers your questions. We're going to dial in a little bit more as this mini workshop continues for this afternoon here in Connected Sales, as far as knowledge of our product versus imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, just a little bit more on that comment. Once again, great question. But imposter syndrome is a little bit more of just feeling like you're not adequate enough, right? That inner thoughts of saying like, okay, so it's $2,500 for this military where you go in and you spend a few hours, and it's all the guns and the dummies and the like brigade and all that, where you're going under the little tunnels and climbing over the walls and stuff like that. So if you don't feel like enough, you don't feel the $2,500 is worth it, for this type of event per se, then yeah, we have some imposter syndrome things, meaning I don't believe it's worth $2,500. Perhaps maybe you never spent $2,500 on a reality thing where they're doing they have the reality things in a bunch of ways. It's almost like the escape room. So they have the escape ones where they dunk you. The Navy SEALs will dunk you underwater, and then you're freezing, and you got to stay out and out in the rain and things like that, or you got to run like I don't know, like 10 miles like nonstop and stuff. So if you don't think the $2,500 is worth it, then yeah, we have some internal stuff to do, but also some external things on the product and service, and also the scripting on that. Let's move on to the next slide. We're going to be talking about here the imposter syndrome. I like that I put that little mask there just to be symbolic of the imposter syndrome, wearing a mask. We're wearing masks I know a lot of you business owners have 3 or 4 different businesses, and on certain days we're wearing different masks of different, programs and services and coaching and mentorships and packages and programs. So the mask is very symbolic as far as the theater mask of who we are and who we're representing ourselves. 3 common imposter traps. Let's cover the traps, shall we, today for the 3 common imposter traps. The number 1 is the expertise myth, meaning that I must know everything before I ask for the meeting, ask for the sale, sit down with somebody, discuss something, and pitch them or close them. And the truth is, trust is built by honest follow through. I've seen a lot of great salespeople over the years say things like this. You go into your pitch or your sale or a Zoom call. You get on the call, you'll introduce yourself, and then they'll say something like, "Just so you know, I'm brand new to this firm. My knowledge is this, and this. If you have any questions that I can't answer here, I'll get those answers for you. But I just want to let you know, I'm not a seasoned veteran, right? I haven't been with the company for 5 or 10 years. So let's begin, right? So you're just being that authentic, honest, upfront person. So trust is built on by honest follow through. Great questions. I'll confirm and circle back by 5 p.m. and then doing it. So very, very important as far as the expertise myth. I think this is the biggest hurdle when putting this little a workshop together, is the myth that I have to be a know-it-all. I have to be an expert. And if I'm pitching somebody that's maybe more wealthier than I am, right, that imposter syndrome comes up. And now you're thinking, well, am I really all that I am to be? Should I actually be selling this person? And because, right, my personal income isn't even close to that person's. The trap number 2, right here in the middle, is the perfection trap. This is the other one that holds us back in life, where we get stuck, right? I need the perfect deck before I demo. I need the perfect knowledge. I got to keep reading scripts. I got to keep understanding the pain points of different people, leads, or prospects, and things like that, trying to get it perfect, right? The over analytical. And we know those are the melancholics, right? You just think and think and think and think before, compared to what we said before. We just got to take action. We got to take action as sales, right? The more action we take, the more successful we are. Dan Locke, the great salesperson, had a great quote. He said, from his top sellers, which is high ticket sellers, the only difference from all of them, it wasn't self-esteem. It wasn't with the way they dressed. It wasn't that they smiled more. It wasn't that they showed up for work half hour. It wasn't that they read more of the books. Their biggest thing was, did they dial and call out and book and schedule calls more, right? So that was his biggest indicator from his top salespeople down, right? His top performers. He said nothing was different except the speed at which they dial and set up their appointments or they pitch. Meaning at the end of the week, maybe I pitched 50 people, right? But the next person down for me only pitched maybe like 18. Well, there's a big difference. If our closing rates are in the 70, 75, 80% range, that's a heck of a big difference for sales and commissions. The third trap, all the way to the right, is the comparison spiral. And this one is also for the imposters, right? We're comparing, just like I was saying before. Maybe you don't make enough and you're showing a house to somebody that already has 3 houses, several cars, and flies all around the world, right? We get into the imposter syndrome. They're better than me. So should I even try? Am I even qualified to do this? So that's the internal thing that we'll be covering, and defeating. We call it defeating. We call it deflating. We also call it, in a spiritual word, when we're talking about vibrations of each of the personalities, the reds, blues, yellows, and greens, and each of those personalities vibrates at a different pace, a different frequency. We're also saying not defeat, not really like we say, a lot of people say like smash the imposter syndrome, defeat. But a great word to use is also evaporate, meaning we take a little match. All right, we take a little match to it and we evaporate. That's a great word to use. I get mine later. Hopefully you can see it. Right? We evaporate, right? We evaporate the imposter syndrome. So that means that it's here, right? We take a flame to it, we burn it a little bit, and we watch it go up in smoke, and now it's air, right? So it's a big difference, right? It's not coming back. We can't look at it. It's gone for good, instead of saying like squash or smash imposter syndrome, defeat imposter syndrome. On this one, we're actually evaporating the imposter syndrome. Did I cover everything in this one? The truth is, comparison is a signal of what matters. Turn it into action by borrowing one tactic today, not every tactic someday. Which is very important, which we were covering before. Not every tactic someday, meaning we're trying to get everything going, and you or your co-owner of your company or organization, or you're selling your coaching or your services and your coaching programs, putting off sales because we're trying to get it perfect, right? So we're just basically turning action into that, just like Dan Locke, right? His biggest difference from his top performers is how quick they dialed out and set appointments. So we have a 3-second reset. It's very popular in a lot of different industries. In the cliff diving, it's 3 seconds. On it, we have 30 to 45 seconds to dive off the platform for cliff diving. So we have to, when we're waiting in line, get that dive going really nice and clean in our head, and mentally cover it, whether we're doing an inward, a backflip. If we're doing the forward, maybe it's a forward double, maybe it's a inward. One of the scariest ones to do off the platform or the springboard is an inward, where we're going and we leap off for the jump, where we leap off, but then we're taking our hands and we're going and tucking our head and doing a somersault towards the board, and we do what we call an inward flip, an inward double, and things. It's really nice off of a springboard because you get some air, and the springboard sort of pushes you out. But off of a cliff or off of the platform for the colleges or the Olympics, where we have the platform, the 10 meter, the 30 foot, it's a little scary to do those inwards for as going inward. So there's always that those fears coming in. So we have a 3-second reset right here. Some of you have maybe heard other things in different industries on this. Basically, it's just 3, 2, 1, right? 3, 2, 1, go. You might have different things. I know Tony Robbins teaches a lot of different anchors and state changes and things like that. So let's cover the 3-second reset here for this. Okay, so the 3-second reset is just a simple count back, take action, and when we hit that number 1, we're off to the races on it, whether we're dialing or whether we're scheduling appointments for sales. If you're in any other services, I had a client a few months ago that was doing seminars, and they had a process which is pretty cool. Is after she would speak, She would go around and float around to the tables to make those connections, to get everyone's sort of like viewpoint or see how they're enjoying the seminar for the afternoon. And it was really cool just to help her tie in a little closing lines inside of that. It doesn't hurt to tie in closing lines when we're mingling with people on that at all. So we added some really cool closing lines that she could pitch her programs, but she didn't really sound sleazy or over pushy and stuff. But she wanted to work on her confidence, but also her directness, not being beat around the bush. How many of us are doing seminars or weekend retreats? And we say they're here, they paid to get here, they paid to drive or fly in the hotels. And so if they're interested, well, they'll just buy, right? They'll just buy my VIP program. They'll just buy my platinum program. They'll just buy my 6-month program. So how many of you, with a show of hands here on Facebook or YouTube, with a show of hands or emojis, are like that? We take the passive route, and we really don't ask for the sale. We don't approach people and say, I would love to have you in my inner circle gold program, which is only open to five people. If you'd like more about that, hit me or one of my staff members up here, and then before the end of the afternoon. Have a great afternoon, and then we'll see you in a little bit, right? See, that was just like a 2-liner. That was just a little pitch that we get away from the passive things, saying like just because they showed up, that they're mentally going to sell themselves on you, compared to actually approaching them, making the sale, and things like that. I wanted to check and shoot over to YouTube. I wasn't over there quite yet for YouTube right here, just to see if there's any comments or statements. Thorough presentation, much appreciated. Well, much appreciated for you. Thank you so much for listening and to work on our own sales processes, no matter what that is. Let me shoot over to Instagram to see if there's any Instagram messages or comments. We're going to be moving on to the 3-second reset. Okay. So count down 3, 2, 1, right? I was talking about cliff diving. Maybe there's some other stuff for you with waking up in the morning. Maybe it's coming home at night from work, and right, you got to make dinner and get ready and put things together for your wife, your husband, your significant other, your kids, what have you. Maybe it's a real quick physical anchor or a state change. 3, 2, 1, you hit your state change and you're in, and right, you mentally shift from work mode to family mode, from parent mode. 3, 2, 1, and take one micro action. All right. It's all about little actions. We take one little micro action. Perfect. In sales, 3, 2, 1, we really weren't confident what we're selling in the packages. Actually, it might even be premature, because our packages, our programs really don't come out to next week. But 3, 2, 1, boom, we send out 3 emails, just pitching it, saying, hey, would you like to be first on this for our coaching program? It's not finished just quite yet, but get it inside. Number 2 is going to be taking action. Send the invite, press record, dial the number, ask the question. Very important. I like the ending one where it says, ask the questions. Would you like to get started for today? I would love to have you in this program. I think it's a perfect fit for you. What do you say we start right away? Do I have your yes? Number 3 is going to be building momentum. 5 tiny moves today beat 1 grand plan tomorrow. Just like we were saying, if we put it off and we try to memorize and write more things, or make another slide and fix the color because you didn't really like the orange, but it should have been a little bit more red, and you are still needed to take a few more pictures for the ending and stuff like that, right? We put off tomorrow. We all know that like tomorrow never comes, right? Oh, I'll get it tomorrow. Oh, I'll get it tomorrow. I'll get it tomorrow, right? So we're going to be making sure that we build momentum. So those 3 seconds resets, once again, was countdown. The number 2 is take action. Number 3, build momentum here. For that. Let's scroll down and continue the next part of this little mini workshop. Sell by serving. I always say the more we serve people, the more that we can expand and grow, the more money we make helps other people. If we could really make sure that we tie that in before our imposter syndrome. If I could sell 5 more packages and units this week, I'm going to impact 5 or 4 more people. They're going to impact their friends and family, their co-workers, their co-owners, their team, and stuff like that. It's going to grow and grow and grow. So we're always going to make sure that we our product or service is there. We're serving others. For people struggling with like a specific problem, I'm sorry. This is the outcome script. I just put together just a little script to throw in there because I know a lot of people when I have my presentations say, did you have scripts? Can you give me some examples? So I threw this in there. So this is the outcome script, pretty simple for this. For people struggling with blank or this specific problem, this delivers and then blank, a clear outcome in blank, which is a time frame, right? Through my coaching program or services roadmap. And then we do like a proof, a little testimonial, a little share. And then the next step is the lowest risk start option, right? Let's get you started on this in this program. Let's get you started on this accelerator program and things. Does everyone understand that? It's just the quick outcome script. It's really simple. It's something easy you can use and apply in all your sales for that. It's more direct. How many of us have a sales script that's all over the place? That's we talk too much, right? When they say we're getting more and more of a society of brevity, right? Shortened slides, quicker talking, talk more on just bullet points. That's it. So this is just a quick script that is very, very quick and precise, right? For the people struggling with specific problem, this delivers a little outcome in X amount of time, right? 7 days, 12 days, 5 hours through my coaching program or services and programs. And we do a proof, we share some type of testimonial or like proof of success. And then we go into the next step, which is a lowest risk start, like option or an invite, get started today. Okay. On the bottom, it just says start with 1 person, 1 problem, 1 outcome. So keep it tight and true. When the outcome is clear and the path is visible, decisions feel safer. In connected sales, when we are dialing into a blue, a phlegmatic, we want to make sure that we're talking about family. We keep it one person, 1 problem, 1 outcome. We're going to state that outcome and the benefit of that. And then we're going to, like pitch or close with your solution. If we're pitching yellow and a sanguine, right, we're going to start with 1 person, right? We're going to make sure it's fun. It's making sure it's dialed into them personally. We're going to make sure that it has some type of recognition for the yellows. And then 1 problem, 1 outcome for them, and then keep it tight and true and then make the sale. Okay, so let's move on. The connected sales closing ladder. This one is a real quick little diagram of a little process. We have a problem. What's the real friction? So when we're talking about a problem with somebody, we want to understand, just ask them, what's the real friction here? What's the real pain points here? What's causing this here for you. Then we go into the fit. Here's exactly how we remove that friction proof process and and who does what by when. And then we go into impact, what it's costing, time, revenue, and trust. And then we go into the next step. Shall we start a low risk pilot this week? Okay, so that's just a little bit of a closing ladder that we will go through in a sales process, right? We have a problem, we have a fit, we have the impact of that fit and how it affects somebody, and then we have the invite. I never want to say this in connected sales is just because we are dialing into the hearts of the people that are extroverts, and those people are the yellows with the sanguines, and the reds, the cholerics, and we're talking and then we go to a communication style where we avoid a fight. I firmly believe that the more we ask, the more we make. The more we make, the more we help others in their lives, the impact they have on them, but also the impact it has on us, right? The more sales we make, right, it helps for us. Our family, our house, our mortgage, kids, school, investments, all that kind of stuff, right? So the more sales we make, the more impact it makes for them and for us. Okay. Does everyone understand the connected sales closing ladder? A ladder in sales is just step-by-step little process. I have a few of the different closing ladders too, built on like a Los Angeles or like a Hollywood script, because we have the opening act, then we have the confrontation and the tension, and then we have to overcome that with like the transition of that. And then we have the final solution and everything. So problem, fit. Let's get up. Let's look at the problem. Let's find the fit for it. Especially lately, a lot of my clients say they're rushed and hurried in their sales processes. If they have somebody, one of my girls for her coaching program said that two of the people she got on a call for this week were like very late, so 15 or 20 minutes late. But by the time when we were just trying to go through different ways we can pitch very quickly, but also still dial into their personality, still have that same frequency going on, for that. Which is really, really cool. A guide with structure, not pressure. Let clarity do the selling. Okay. So once again, find the problem, get a fit. You know what I like about this? It's just simple and quick. YouTube comment. How do I know the difference between the problem or the situation that may have them stuck in many ways? Great question. How do we know with a problem or stuck in certain ways? Let me cover that really quick. I'm also just going to hop over to Facebook and Instagram just for any other comments, just really fast, everyone, for any of the comments. What I always like to do is if we ask a question, we get sort of not a certain answer back, we don't know what's holding them back. Usually what we like to do is add some digging questions, right? We get at the shovel and digs. Tell me more. Tell me more is a great line that we could use. Tell me more. So I could understand. Understand is a great word to use in the sales processes as well. So I can understand that better and design a fit or a solution for you. Could you tell me a little bit more about, and then you would go into their problem or what's been holding them back. And if it's maybe you're dealing with a sanguine, a yellow, or maybe a phlegmatic, a blue, and they're sort of like mumbling or scattered a little bit. We basically try to pick one problem, the biggest problem that's holding them back, that's going to cause the worst or the biggest financial or like a money block, for them. On things. So, right, it could be emotional things. It could be like internal things. It could be energy things, and stuff. So we just want to make sure that we go from a broad spectrum to honing in on one or two solutions on that. I have some fitness clients of mine that are in the fitness industry, and they deal with all types of things. They deal with fitness programs, martial arts programs for kids, and stuff. And we're always going through the closing somebody that asks a ton of different questions, right? Asks all different questions. They're a little all over the place, and we can't really like dial in to that one main problem and stuff. And picking that one and solving it right with the problem fit, the impact in the next step, right? Fitting your solution to that problem, and then inviting them to the next step. Some of our next step. Let's start today. Let's get you signed up today. All I need is your signature, and we'll have everything ready for you. How does that sound? Things like that as far as our closing statements. Okay, so let's move on to success stories. I just wanted to share just a few connected sales success stories from Claire's breakthrough. Raising prices is never an easy one, right? Sometimes there's imposter syndrome in there. Sometimes there's I'm not worth it. Sometimes it says I'll lose sales, right? I'll lose sales. If I raise the prices of the people that have been with me for 2 years, they're going to quit, right? And stuff. So raising prices terrified me because I didn't feel like an expert enough. I used a 3-second reset to send a pricing update and rewrote my offer to solve one clear problem with a pilot start. 3 clients upgraded, internal stress vanished, and all my monthly revenue doubled in 8 weeks, which is 2 months. The key wasn't confidence first. It was a little bit of action, which is great. So just working with Claire and taking that action on those asks, right? Ask for the sale. Get used to ask for the sale. Let's go to Gary. Gary had a really cool transformation. I would over teach at the end of every demo because I feared the close. Just what I was exactly talking about, right? We talk so much, especially if we're with a phlegmatic or a sanguine, we talk so much. And I'll even scroll up on our slides, right? That we take the passive, the passive route. I'm not too sure where it's at. We take the passive route and not ask for the sale. I think it was in the 3-second reset. I think it was. Oh, it's right here. The truth about imposter. Focus on serving one clear problem with one clear outcome. Those imposter feelings don't mean you're unqualified. They mean growth is happening, right? So we're just making sure that we don't be passive in the sales process. I was hired in the fitness industry in Los Angeles years back, and I was hired by a woman's fitness company that had 2 locations, very darn good locations. They paid a lot of money to be on those streets, and they because of the street traffic. Right. So they didn't even have to do ads back then. Facebook ads didn't exist. I know the internet was, but YouTube I know Google owned, I'm sorry, YouTube was separate, but then yeah, Google didn't buy them till what 2008 or nine or something like something. It was more or less like magazine ads and LA Weekly ads and what are like the Town Money Saver ads and things like that. The Star, not wasn't the Star, but Los Angeles had one, and then there was also some different communities around Los Angeles had their own like paper. I remember Santa Monica had their own, Pasadena had their own. So you had to advertise in those. So I didn't spend any of that because they had the foot traffic. But I went in and I was hired to coach and set up a lot of their coaching programs and their sales processes. And I had to sit in on all their sales. They called it their intros. They call it intro when they come in. Oh, we got another intro. Oh, we got another intro. And dang to heck, if they weren't the most passive people I've ever met in life. They thought that just because somebody was shopping because the like Galleria was just right down just whatever, a few blocks away, that they were going to buy. Like they'd come in and no one would be at the counter and no one would like sell them. And, or they would have one of their female instructors walk them around the gym for a little tour. They would do a tour and then they would disappear, whether they would have to teach a class or they would just like act busy. And just because the people that were walking in or did the tour would look at a little pamphlet, at the counter and say to themselves, I would like to sign up today. It's just amazing, right? So we got their sales to some really, really good stats at both locations. I remember I was at a certain location a few days, another location at another days, and we had it going on. My contract ended, and sure enough, about 6 months later, the business folded. Right, they went belly up. They I don't know, bankrupt, but yeah, they closed and stuff like that. So it's always interesting, people's money or their husband's money funding this for both locations. Their biggest struggle was sales, right? As far as making sales, making upgrades. I love sales. I love face-to-face sales. I added 2 tiers on their upgrade programs. It was only like 15 minutes and the other one was 30 minutes after class. They can enjoy different types of workouts. And it was sort of designed on like sandbags. And then we had like the kettlebells. And then they also had like the TRX bands for women, almost like the Billy Blanks had the bands and stuff. It was great stuff, but you have to ask for the sale, right? You have to ask for the sale. I remember months later, driving by and they were closed up. And I was just like shocked because like all my work went out the door. But more than that is they just didn't understand that, you really have to ask for the sale, right? You could have the best refrigerator, sports car, hair salon in the neighborhood. But if you don't ask for the sale and you don't upgrade people or don't ask for a higher tier, the highlights, the coloring and stuff, right, you're never going to get it. Okay. So did we cover everything? The 3 common imposter traps, we covered that. We covered the 3-second reset on here. And then we had the outcome script, which is just short and simple. Then we went into the connected sales closing ladder, which is really cool on it. It's a problem. We make a fit for that. We drive the impact of how it's going to impact them for the next 6 months of the year. And then we go to the next step as far as asking for the sale. Shall we start a low risk pilot this week? Shall we start today? All I need is your signature today. Would that be MasterCard or Visa today, right? We just go in for that. So going back to Gary, My pilots tripled in a quarter. Turns out clarity and a calm question beat another 10 minutes of talking. That's why I went off on a little bit of being passive, just like Gary, right? We could talk. A lot of people say, well, we can talk, right? Edison, you talk about communicating in your 3-step program, Connected Sales, connect, communicate, and close, right? Shouldn't I be communicating more? Shouldn't I be communicating more? Yes and no. Just like my client that I've been working with the last few months, she said their last 2 clients this week were rushed. They were late for us. So we want to make sure we're clear, we're precise, we have brevity. So clear, precise bullet points. And we ask for the sale and we dial into the personality, right, for their frequency, yellow, red, yellow, blue, or green. So a really cool testimonial from Gary. Talking does not equal sales, right? He just added one question to it and made sales without talking 10 more minutes. So I put together a little daily confidence protocol. So let's go 1, 2, 3, almost like our count back 3, 2, 1. We do some action. 1, we talk about our small victories. This is building confidence in our sales process. Small victories. Write out 5 small victories over the last 6 months. This helps in so many ways. As you know, here for years, I've been talking on Connected Sales about writing things, putting things on the mirror, putting Post-its in your car and things. So I'll always say mirror work, mirror work, mirror. I like myself. I like myself. I like my ears. I like my eyes. I like them. Smile in the mirror. So write out 5 small victories over the last 6 months. When you are down, when you have that imposter syndrome, when you have those negative thoughts, these will overcome those in such an amazing way, and it flips it 180. What lights you up? What milestones did you accomplish? Yes, you are qualified to sell, right? So that's number 1. Okay. Number 2, proof points. What proof points is we're going to be listing 5 reasons why you are overqualified. That's right. We're going to be listing 5 reasons why you're overqualified. You are an expertise, your strengths, your skills that make people love saying yes to you. Write out 5 of those for your confidence protocols. And the number 3 thing we're going to be doing is the cost of inaction. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this. Chime in here on some chats for comments here or some emojis if you have ever heard of this in your sales process. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that the pain and the struggles for them not continuing with you is very, very congruent. Like we were saying with the fitness industry when they're doing their intros, we want to make sure that we say to the people coming in, people on their intros and their tours, the impact that not exercising, not working out, not taking care of your heart in 6 months, what it's going to do. High blood pressure, weight gain, arthritis, hip and knee issues on weight and stuff, mobility issues, exercise, energy issues with your kids and your grandkids or your nephews and nieces because you can't run as fast, play as much. This weekend, while I was with my nephews and nieces, we were on the trampoline, bouncing around, doing flips on the trampoline. We were playing basketball. So we want to make sure that number 3, that we verbally tell everyone what the effect, the pain, and the struggle in 6 months or a year that they will be in if they do not choose you, right, on that. So write 5 costs of inactions from your prospect, not from you, but from your prospect's side. So fast forward 6 months, what pain and struggles will they have not choosing you? Okay. So when we write these out, what we're just doing is going through, writing the names on some of these people. And we're just putting in the person's name and then put in what it costed them, the pain that they're still in, being stuck in that by not saying yes to you, right? By saying no to you. Okay. So compound confidence through consistent action. Your prospects need what you offer. Don't let imposter syndrome keep you from serving them. I think this is a great start as far as imposter syndrome, our internal stuff for connected sales and what we're dealing with. I know there's a lot of other things we can build and develop into this, especially on this 6 months to a year of fast forwarding. When we do this and we say that we have Jane, Carol, Mike, and Tom, right? And then we write out Gene, right? Would still be struggling with this and this and this, and still is in a job that he hates because he didn't say yes to my offer. And then we have Tom, right? Is still overweight and struggling with his who knows, eating or diet because he did not say yes to me. So we write those out, and it basically flips your mind thinking I am qualified, because if they don't take action and they don't say yes to me, here for today, well, then they're saying no to progress. They're saying no to moving forward. They're saying no to making their life better and more expanding. Okay. So let's scroll down and to the next slide. This is pretty cool. So what I put together is just a little worksheet. And this is a worksheet that you could just fill out. It's going to be basically this: your daily confidence protocol, 1, 2, and 3, your small victories, your proof points, and your cost of inactions. For the last 5 to 10 years, we've been doing these 1, 2, 3. And I can't tell you the shifts and changes we've had from so many different people that come back and say, wow, I sell at such a much more confidence. Not only do I not doubt myself, but when I'm actually talking and pitching my product or a prospect or service, I actually can see them in so much pain, so much they're stuck for next year, that it makes me even more want to help and be of service to them, that they're a little bit more direct about getting the sale, right? And making the sale. Let's get started today. And they say, well, let me think it over. If you think it over, right, you're only putting pause on your health and fitness, right? You're only putting pause on your relationship with your son or your daughter, if you are in some type of got a program or a coaching program on therapy or communication and things like that. Okay, so this is like the worksheet of it, your confidence worksheet. So use this worksheet to write out your 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's going to be your 1, 2, and 3 right there, your small victories, your proof points, and your cost of inactions. Small victories, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are going to be your victories. Your proof points. Okay, so your proof points are going to be the 5 reasons why you are overqualified. List all your proof points. Maybe you had a few past clients that did so well, right? So list all your expertise and your strengths. This is almost like peeling the onion, right? We can fill this worksheet out once, and then we're going to fill it out again, maybe in a few days, and then we're going to fill out another one next week. And we just keep going through this, right? Through this. I've seen some of my clients come to certain retreats and seminars, and they have a stack of these, which is great, right? Because we're just adding our small victories, right? And building that confidence. Yes, I can. Yes, I did this. I did this. I did. Wow, I feel so amazed, right? If they say no to me, I still feel great about myself because, all right, I know the pain that they're going to be in 6 months from now. Proof of points, right? And now we're going to do the proof of points. List of 3 why you're overqualified. I've done this. I've done this, right? I've done this. Wow, I'm charging so little for all of this and stuff. Cost of inactive. Inactive is the last one for the thing. I put a little sand time thing on it on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cost of inaction. Once again, that's the 6 6 months or 1 year, if they say no to you, the pain and the struggles that they're still going to be in. So pretty cool, huh? For connected sales, we were evaporating the connected sales to defeat imposter syndrome, evaporating imposter syndrome. We're selling with service. We're tied in a lot of selling the service today. If we're not really selling, we're being of service. The more I can be of service and impact a community, the more I can impact the people around me and ourselves. So that was your worksheet on there. It will be in the PDF on the download. So feel free to print that out. And then the ending on here. You'll notice that a lot of my times on my webinars or my mini workshops, I usually end with some type of quotes from like Thich Nhat Hanh, Paramahansa Yogananda, Lahiri Mahasaya, a lot of the mystics and the saints and a lot of the spiritual things here. Being in Thailand, it's just a mecca of great centers, meditation centers, retreats, and Bali as well, right? When I was surfing in Bali, there were several different retreat centers and ashrams that were just so beautiful. And you would go in and just feel and have this resonance of love and appreciation when you walk in. So I'm just finishing this one with connected sales. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. If we really clear up our mind, if we really refocus on the shift from selling to serving, we heal the inner self of our critics saying, oh, I feel like sleazy. I still see this in social media on Instagram and somewhere else the other day, right? As far as somebody was asking for the sale, but somebody said, oh, you just became unauthentic, right? You weren't authentic. And I totally couldn't say the opposite. We are authentic because we're actually being very direct with our services. We're asking for the sale. We're being very confident of asking for the sale to start today because I know the pain you're going to be in 6 months from now, a year from now, saying no. Okay. So I ended with a Mahatma Gandhi quote: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Defeat imposter syndrome, sell with service, transform hesitation into action. We were talking about taking those action, those little things. We talked about Dan Locke and his top performers. It wasn't on knowledge. It wasn't on confidence. It wasn't, all it was is the difference from his top to maybe a few down was how many times they dialed and set appointments. Transform hesitation into action and build unshakable confidence through service focused selling that create real value for your prospects. And that concludes a great mini workshop on today on imposter syndrome. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to check our comments for Instagram, for Facebook, and for YouTube. I'm so glad my team and my moderators were able to connect us all. The other day, we weren't able to connect, and even this morning, we weren't able to connect to Instagram. We're going to see how that turned out on Instagram, how long a video can stay on Instagram as well. I don't see any other comments. Have a great night. Give me a thumbs up if you have any other questions or watching the replay on this. Feel free to ask questions. Me or my team here at Connected Sales will answer those for you. If you haven't already, please be sure to look at the links down below. They're the links to the accelerated program for the Connected Sales and the Inner Circle VIP programs with Connected Sales, all built on dialing in to the heart, right? The more we can dial into the heart, the more that we could love, and we get rid of judgments and what we call labels, right? When we meet somebody, that tension already comes up, right? When we meet them, right? When we say hello. We used to do handshakes, but I think since COVID, most of us don't really do handshakes anymore. So the moment we meet somebody, right, some of those judgments come up. So instead of judging them, we sort of dial into the heart. We know that there's two ventricles going into the heart. That means they're internal. They're thinkers. They're analytical. They're laid back. And then we have the two pumping vessels of the heart, connected sales, is the choleric, the red, right? The go, 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 and the yellows, the sanguines, the talkers, the communicators, the people that like the shiny stuff and buying new stuff all the time. Okay. So that was all developed years ago with my process of selling, being in door-to-door sales, and learning from Nunzio, a factory salesperson in the Midwest, which was all sales, golf. I was going to say golf clubs, but it's golf courses before work or after work at the golf course or the driving range on sales and the sales, whatever it was, for plastic parts, car parts, metal parts, stampings, assembly line, all that kind of stuff, millions of dollars. So all that turned, and getting rid of the sleazy, cold, memorize the scripts, memorize the closes, make sure you have all the objections, so your rebuttals are ready to go, like a machine gun ready to fire back at your prospect. On that. And then moving to Los Angeles, here's the old way, the old Nunzio way, with all the tension and the teardrops. Moving to Los Angeles, meeting Bob, becoming great friends with Bob, who is a crisis hotline counselor at late nights from who knows when, 10 to 5 a.m. in the morning, and was an inner city jail and prison therapist, counselor that would have to go into these prisons. And back then, cell phones, we just started having cell phones, but regardless of that, he was threatened. He had knives at his throat, being screamed at, shouted at, and he came in with such peace and resonance, understanding where that person was coming from, almost like Mahatma Gandhi, right? Understanding the true essence of somebody's pain and really walking in their moccasins. And this is my connected sales outline of how we dial into the hearts, right? We turn those teardrops into hearts, and we dial into the heart more, just like Bob, and we get rid of all the tension and the aggression, right? As far as you'll see, it turns into sales here, but on the tension side, right, they're running out the door saying, get me the hell out of there. You're sleazy, you're right, you're a salesman, and things like that. So that should do it for imposter syndrome. Have a great afternoon, everyone. We'll see you on the next video. Stay connected for connected sales. Connect, communicate, and close more sales so you get a heck of a lot more yeses. Make sure you give me some comments too in the next few days, applying these techniques, how it improved your internal game of imposter syndrome to more of a confidence, and how that turned into a sales success for you. Till then, have a great afternoon, and we will see you then.